Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to a new video on East Coast Manga. So today I want to talk about this new Shonen Jump series that released. Now, some of you guys may know about this, some of you may not. It got put up relatively recent, so maybe within the last couple days. I've seen a couple videos being posted about it, and I checked one of them out, and it sounded pretty interesting, but I also am not too sure yet. So I decided at the very least that I would go on the app and check it out. And then after reading it, I decided I definitely want to make a video. So this manga is, of course, as you know by the title, Time Paradox Ghostwriter, and interesting sounding title. It's definitely a lot for a title. So when I was checking out this manga on the Shonen Jump app, I was going into it a little weary because I've heard some people talk about it like the beginning is similar to Bakuman, which I'm not a huge, well, alright, let's say I haven't actually read it, but I don't think I'm going to be a huge fan of that series because I love manga, but I'm really not too interested in how manga is made, and especially if it's a very wordy manga. Personally, I don't like to be stuck on long pages of dialogue. That's just not me. If I wanted that, I'd just read a light novel or an actual novel. So to be honest, if you really don't want any spoilers, I'd recommend reading that chapter and then coming back to this video, because not that I think there's like crazy spoilers, I feel like it's just the plot building. I probably will mention a couple things that, you know, if you're really against spoilers, you may not like. I don't know. I'm just going to talk about it a little bit and kind of give my opinion. So the first couple pages, in my opinion, were kind of slow. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of mangas that are about writing manga, if that makes sense, or at least the process of it. And it does give a little bit of the process, and it's just, there's just not a lot of excitement going on at the beginning of it. It features this 24-year-old Sasaki, and he's basically working on this one-shot manga because there's certain tiers to be able to get to a like regular shonen series. And to get to those tiers, he needs to create a one-shot and then get that approved and get that passed so he can then move on. But there seems to be some type of issue that he's just not able to get it together. So once he gets denied for the last time, he basically has to walk home in the rain, he's soaking wet, comes into his house and just like kind of collapses, and a bolt of lightning strikes right through his house and hits his like microwave fridge combo, or maybe the microwave is just on top of the fridge. Whatever it was, it's all melted together now. And after that, I think the manga gets really interesting, and I think the concept of time travel is such an interesting concept if done well. If the writers actually know what they're talking about and understand how many complications come with time travel, I think it's probably my favorite concept of anything when it comes to manga, you know, or TV shows or movies. It's just super interesting. If you guys are interested in that, I recommend checking out the TV show Dark. It's on Netflix. It's probably the best show on Netflix, honest to God. It's a Netflix original, but it's filmed in Germany, and the original language is German, but they also have a dub version on there that's pretty good too. But that really shows the issue with time travel. Now, with this manga, it's not necessarily like him time traveling, it's the fact that this microwave pops out like a Shonen Jump that's 10 years in the future every single week, and I think that's a really interesting concept. And obviously he does what any of us would do. He's struggling super hard trying to figure out an idea, so when he gets a Shonen Jump 10 years in the future and he finds an awesome story on that, he takes advantage of it and he decides to basically copy that story and present it as his, which, I mean, makes sense, to be honest. But of course this comes with complications because someone did write that manga even though it's 10 years in the future. You have the issue of, you know, well, when did this idea actually pop up? And at the end of chapter 1, we see the actual mangaka, who is like a 17-year-old high school student who has already come up with this idea and knows that this is her plot. Even though she hasn't written this yet, or I assume she hasn't written this, she knows it's her story, her character, and things are definitely going to get really dicey. Now, of course, this is only one chapter, so the mangaka could absolutely destroy it, and it could be a load of garbage, but I think this has a lot of potential, actually, and I'm not just saying that because, trust me, if this was a garbage chapter, I would absolutely say it was a garbage chapter, but I think it has a lot of potential, and I think it's going to move away from the Bakuman perspective, where it's just focusing on, you know, being a mangaka, and I think it's really going to focus on the whole, like, time paradox situation. And if it does that, I think it's going to do a lot better than if it focuses, obviously, on making a manga, because that has already been done over so many times. I feel like we really don't need another version of that. And I feel like this concept is unique enough to be able to really pull its own weight and not have to, you know, rely on cheap tricks or anything like that. And I also think it has potential for an anime too, which I don't know if every single manga that gets released has potential like that. But honestly, we're just gonna have to wait and see down the line what happens with this manga, you know, how it does in physical sales and also how it does in online reads. But yeah, I think this series really does have potential, and I don't say that about every single series, so I am really interested to see where this goes. That's been it for this video. Let me know down in the comments whether you guys like this or dislike this chapter, especially if you dislike this chapter, just because I'd love to know why. Me personally, I think the beginning was pretty slow, but I do think it picked up, and I think it's a very interesting concept to move forward with. So that's been it for this video, and I will catch you guys later.